Yo, what's up, man? Get rid of the reverb, dog. Come on, man. You in a band?
Yeah, so Patrick Styles, I've got a couple that's helped
Look, I make a
Can't hear what you're saying, man. Can't hear what you're saying.
You in a band? You in a band, man?
So what's your question, man?
My question is when you get someone who says that your product can't do what you claim it does, even when you have things behind your product.
I don't know what he said.
He said something about when you claim your product can do something, but somebody else doesn't believe your claims.
Then validate it, man. Then validate your claims, okay?
All right, I got Justin and Deanna.
Validate your claims. Like, you got to validate your claims, okay? Or you could do this.
Well.
What percentage of what I just shared with you do you believe? I'm on the phone with a guy. I said, look, we're going to increase your sales 40% in the first 30 days. I do my pitch. Hang on, okay? And then I can feel him. You saw me do this to a guy once. And I said, hey, let me ask you a question. Because I'm not getting any, nothing's happening, right? I said, hey, man, let me ask you a question. What's that? What percentage of what I just told you do you believe? He's like, I don't know. I said, well, if you did know. See, I don't know is not an answer.
Yeah.
Okay, and this goes back to when you're asking questions, always get an answer to the question. Well, if you did know, come on, man, pick yes or no, 50%, 40%.
I think it's all bullshit.
I think, this is what he said. The dude comes awake, man. I remember he's in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
He says, actually, I said, come on, man, what percentage? None of it. I don't believe a damn thing you just said to me for the first time in the call.
He was actually communicating.
We were having communication. You can't close a deal without communication. It's impossible, regardless of what the communication is. Bad, ugly communication you don't want is better than none. We closed that deal, by the way.
Yes, we did.
Okay?
And so back to the question that you had was, hey, you make a claim and somebody doesn't believe that claim. That doesn't necessarily mean at face value that they don't believe what you're saying. That may mean that they, in the past, have made a decision on something that didn't work.
Yeah.
And so that is influencing their decision. So that would be an example of an unspoken objection.
By the way, why do people not close? Because of you? Because of the price? Because of the product? Or because of them? Number one reason people don't close is because of them. It's got nothing to do with you, man. You got to raise the customer certainty. So your certainty is one thing. You have to raise theirs. You got to get them to believe, man.
Another example. What he's saying. Somebody says, "Hey, man, that's way too much money. It's too expensive." Again, if you go back, question you access the past with when was the last time that you spent X amount of dollars?
Yeah. So Jared's saying when they say, "Hey, that camera's too much money," it's got nothing to do with your camera. It's got something to do with their sense of self-esteem. That says I can pay $1,500 for a camera. I'm going to use the camera. It's worth the extra money. Okay. Because in many cases, if you go back and look, they don't go back and buy a cheaper camera. They go buy a more expensive camera from somebody else, and you're like, "How did I miss this deal?"
We sell training contracts all the time to businesses where literally $2,500 a month, it's nothing to them. But they don't make the decision based at times off of something else that they invested in that they didn't use. So again, the objection may appear to be the money, but really what their objection is it reminds them, hey, I got this thing that I never used back here. So they question their ability
exactly.
to get.
So if you can't handle that objection,
and so then you start chasing price.
Exactly. I'll give you another example of what Jared's saying right now. Guy doesn't want to buy our program. It's $40,000 to train 20 people in this company every day of the year. He doesn't buy that. He buys 2 tickets to St. Bart's for 5 days for $50,000. He said to us, 25 grand is too much money, and then spent 50.
Yep.
No, 40. I think it was 40,000 on the contract. He said, I cannot spend 40,000. It's too much money to train 20 people every day of the year, but I'm gonna spend 50,000, 10 grand more for 5 days for 2 people.
Or you just have to think why he's making that decision. Maybe he believes more in his own ability to get something out of the information than he does his people.
That's right. He believes, hey, me and my wife going to this event will get us more than 20 people every day of the year, okay? By the way, another reason you're not closing deal is because you don't have different inventory to use, okay? Here's $30. Here's
$70.
$79.
$1,500.
Okay? Here's $1,500. Okay.
We got 40,000 and the 50,000 in the back.
Yeah. Like I got to move the guy around until he's certain. It's got nothing to do with me or my product. It's got something to do with you and your belief in how to use something to make it worth more money to you.
And dude, there's nobody that is born knowing this.
You know, how would you be born with knowing, hey, do it anyway?
And so you have to, like, if you keep running into these problems with your job or whatever, even just in life, when people tell you no and you can't, you know, somebody tells you no and you don't have something to say to come back, or, you know, somebody says, I can't do that for you, and you can't flip them, or you need to look at every area of your life that this is happening.
Yeah, or know why that, hey, maybe you can't close this deal. The woman I'm married to, there's no way I was going to close that deal the first month. Mm-hmm. I knew when I walked away, I'm not going to close it this month. It might take 3 months. Mm-hmm. But sooner or later, I'm closing the deal, okay? Herb Chambers, I knew when we were there, I'm not going to close the deal. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm going to keep the pipeline full. That's why I go wait on 3 or 4, 5 or 6, or go see 7 people while I'm there. So I fill that pipeline up so I know one deal is going to pay me now, so I can keep my week going. My week turns into a month. My month turns into a quarter. And all of a sudden, you know what? I got this full pipeline a year or two from now.